So I've been collecting a few journals over the years. I never freaking introduced myself here on my channel. So first we're going to do that. Hi, I'm Tamika Marie, but everybody calls me Mika. And I never do it because it's awkward, you see? But anywho, we're here to talk about journaling. If you're just getting started with journaling, you're just starting out, you don't know what to write, you're maybe even scared of it a little bit, I want to talk to you about some advice that maybe somebody I wish would have given me when I first started journaling. And then I'll even share with how you can grab a couple journals and get started this week if you wanted to. I want to take you guys back to 2020. We know what was going on around that time. I won't say for YouTube purposes, but that wasn't necessarily my reasoning for journaling, but I was definitely going through a very difficult time around that time. I was really struggling with myself. I was struggling with my small business because I am a small business owner, entrepreneur, whatever you want to call me. I was really struggling with my fashion business at the time, and I was trying to make that work. And nothing I was doing was working. And I was so frustrated, so defeated, so down. And I didn't know what else to do. I wanted all the things. I wanted to have a successful small business. I wanted to stop living to paycheck. I wanted to just feel good in my business, just waking up every day, doing the thing that I absolutely love. That's what I wanted to happen. But the opposite was happening. I guess I was getting some sales because, again, we were in 2020. So I had to shift from making gowns and dresses and things like that I was making to now making face masks. I was making face masks for people that could afford to buy it, which really did help me out because I was also making face masks for first responders and people who were on the front lines of it all and having to be outside in it. So my boyfriend, he's a security officer, and all of his coworkers and everything. I absolutely love our male person. She is just the kindest, sweetest person. I make sure to make her a face mask absolutely for free. But that's how I was making some money in fashion design and everything. But I wanted to make gowns. I know I say that in a lot of my videos, but that was the point. I wanted to make gowns and I just could not figure out how to accurately do it. I'm going to admit it. I was definitely doing a little bit too much and I was trying to skip ahead. I can look back and see my mistakes, that I was trying to move so much faster than where I actually needed to be. I wanted better for me and my family, of course, who wouldn't? And another thing too, I think I just had a lot of perfectionism then. There's no getting around that. I was an extreme perfectionist. It was really bad, but now I understand a little bit of it though. I also was diagnosed with OCD in 2023, I believe it was, somewhere around there. So in 2020, I didn't quite know that yet. So a lot of the things that I was doing didn't really make sense at the time, but I knew that I was just struggling. And I will never forget this one specific day. I think it was almost like end of September, beginning of October. I was standing in my fashion sewing room and I was holding these sewing patterns. And I just could not for the life of me just make the dang pattern, just make the gown, make the dress, whatever I was making at the time. I think I was just so overwhelmed. You literally have to be patient, take your time, cut this pattern out, size it, doing all the things that I wasn't doing at the time, but I was just trying to go from 0 to 100 real quick. I just assumed that I was supposed to be just good at everything. So what had happened was that day or that night, I threw the sewing patterns down on the floor, and then I came into my living room and dramatically flung myself on the couch. And at the time it wasn't funny, but now I can look back on it and laugh and say I dramatically flung myself on the couch and I was just boo-hooing, crying, and throwing my pillows everywhere. I was going through it. I was ready to give up. That day was a really rough day. And it was almost my breaking point. I can only to this day assume that it was a higher power, God, the universe, whatever it was, it spoke to me and it said, get up, stop crying, and figure out a way out of this. That was it. And so I did. I thought about if I could maybe call somebody, but it was so late at night, I couldn't. My boyfriend was at work. And I was like, what am I going to do? So I turned to Google, and then I started searching how to get out of depression. It wasn't even about fashion or anything. I searched how to get out of depression because I knew at that point that I literally felt depressed and something wasn't right. And so I looked up how to get out of depression. And when I did that, everything since then has changed for me. It may not be the best, but I will say since that moment, everything changed for me. A YouTube video popped up about scripting or journaling. I think her name is OhhmyAnnie here on YouTube. And her video completely changed the trajectory of my life, which is why I'm going to say side note, which is why it's so important to hop on YouTube. If you want to record the video, hop on YouTube, because you never know if your video could be the video to change someone's life. And her video was the video to change the trajectory of my life. I'm being so serious. I can't be any more serious than I'm being right now. I saw that and I was like, ooh, I'm going to buy a journal. And then from there, later on, a few days later, I talked to my mom, and then she was like, I think you might need a little bit of therapy. And I was telling my boyfriend, my mom said I needed therapy. Can you believe that? And he was like, and I was like, can you believe that? And I just heard crickets. And I was like, oh, so I guess we're going to therapy now too. But I got my journals first. I went on Amazon and I looked up some journals. That was the first thing that I did because of OhhmyAnnie's video about journaling and scripting out your reality. And that's what really started my journaling journey from there. If you've never heard of it, you probably are wondering what the hell is scripting. I guess the best way that I can describe it, and I'll link her video somewhere around here. If she still has her YouTube video up, I will link that video below. But I guess the best way that I can describe scripting to you guys is basically if you are writing as if you already have that thing, or you're already living the lifestyle that you want to live, or it's already happened. So you're writing as if you already are in that moment, I guess is the best way that I can describe it. So for example, I really struggled to start a YouTube channel around 2020. And even before that, I've been trying to start a YouTube channel for a very long time. When I got my journals and they arrived from Amazon, I started to journal about that, how I was struggling so much, how I kept moving the camera around and the lighting wasn't good enough and sound wasn't good enough. Even how I looked, like my appearance, I just was like, I can't be on camera. I don't look good. I don't sound good. I just had all of these doubts and fears around starting a YouTube channel. I just was struggling so much to do that. So I started to journal about it. And then I started to script about it, which is a total different thing. I was journaling out, today wasn't a good day, and I was just struggling so much to moving the camera around and nothing worked out. And I'm so mad at myself and can't seem to get it together. Journaling, those type of things, yes. But scripting, on the other hand, was like, today was a beautiful day where I finally recorded my first video, or even better, scripting for the future of what I wanted my channel to look like. I started to journal things. I'm so happy that I started this YouTube channel. The feedback has been amazing. People are actually watching my YouTube channel and they're watching the videos all the way through. The comments have been amazing. They've been telling me that my content is resonating with them, and they're so happy that I posted about this topic because it really resonated with them and they loved it and they want more, and they're subscribing. And I can't believe that I'm already at 1,000 subscribers. I was scripting out stuff like that, speaking it into existence. And if you look now at this very moment of this video, I have 43 subscribers. So obviously that hasn't happened yet. But that's what I mean by scripting out my reality. I was writing as if I already had it. And it's not just material things. I have a lot of health issues. So even just writing out, I felt really good today. I woke up with no pain in my body. And maybe that's not necessarily my reality. I hope that one day it will be. And I believe just by writing these things down, writing it and speaking those things into existence, our words have power. People think it's woo-woo and all that crap. But to me, I have found it so just empowering, so motivating, so inspiring. It gives me so much hope to keep going. I always say, if you have nothing else, you have hope And if you have hope, you have belief. And if you have the belief, you have the faith. And if you have the faith, then you have faith that something can happen for you or to you or whatever the case may be. And so that's what I believe. It's not even just about wishing or thinking that you're going to have all of these materialistic things that are going to occur or happen, which I believe in speaking those things into existence still. So don't get me wrong. I've been journaling or scripting about my dream apartment with my 2-bedroom and please 2 bathrooms, because I need 2 bathrooms. So me and my boyfriend don't have to keep fighting over the bathroom time. If you ever seen Good Times, I feel like JJ and Thelma. Why are we fighting over the bathroom time? It's too much. And I don't want to do that anymore. So I have been scripting out how much I want my dream place in my dream apartment with a dishwasher too, because I'm sick of washing dishes. So we can get to that. But I think journaling has done even more than that for me personally. It really helped me with my perfectionism, because I used to be that type of person where the journal is too pretty. I can't mess it up or whatever, or a notepad or something like that. If I wrote something down or if I scratched it out, it just felt like I have to throw this whole page away because now it's a mistake on it. And I was always afraid of making mistakes. If I was making mistakes and somehow I was a bad person and it was like the end of the world and I was just catastrophizing, something like that. It was overly exaggerating what was happening in the moment. And so by doing my 2 journal system method, I just write, no matter if you make a mistake, no matter what. It really helped me with my perfectionism because I could cross out stuff. I was doing it on purpose. I told myself, if you make a mistake in this journal, it's okay. Make the mistake, cross it out. Don't even just ignore it. Don't just put a little line there. Cross it all out. Scribble on it. Make those mistakes. And by doing that, it allowed me to get more comfortable with making mistakes. And then that really helped me with regulating my emotions more, because I was a big crybaby. It's okay to cry. I think crying is a good sign of relief, but I cry at everything. I cry if I'm mad, sad, I cry if I'm happy or whatever. And so I was a big crier. And I just think that it really helped me with some emotional regulation, because after a while with my 2 journal method system, I stopped just free writing so much. I started thinking to myself, so what are you going to actually start doing about those things? What are you going to start doing to actually start taking action to heal, to fix the things, to make a change, to make some progress towards the things that you actually want? And so it led me to feel like maybe I need to actually start asking myself questions. Well, what would you like to do? What's one thing that I can do right now to start making progress, to make changes towards that thing? And so then I was like, maybe I can start doing this with my YouTube channel. Maybe I could just start recording something. It doesn't mean I'm going to post it. I'm just going to record a video. Get used to being on the camera face to face. And I did that quite a few times. I think it definitely helped to start to get used to being on camera. And don't get me wrong, I'm still very uncomfortable being on camera. I'm a very shy person, but I feel like just getting used to it has definitely helped me to start taking action. It still helped me get from that point A to now point, I'll at least say we're at C or D. And we got a ways to go. But I've got started on the track, and that's the most important part of this. So with this method, what I did was I bought 2 journals from Amazon, and I picked 2 separate colors. It doesn't really matter. You can pick 2 separate colors if you want as well, but I got 2 different journals. And one of the journals that I got was to write all the thoughts, any thought that I had, any thought, any ideas. So anything that wasn't necessarily super positive would go in this one journal. So if I'm just having a terrible day, I just want to talk about my frustrations about my life, where I wish I was in life. I just want to talk about how somebody just got on my nerves that day, whatever the case is, or talking about my small business and how I wish I was further ahead. It didn't matter what it was. Anything that just wasn't super on the positive side or was just on my brain for that day. And then in this journal, I wrote everything down that was positive. I started writing out of paper, so there might be a few things from this one into this one, but do as I say, not as I do. And I recommend keeping them separate for a reason. It's just, I don't know. I guess just keeping the juju clean between both of them or whatever. But you can do whatever you want. But I just think that this is a nice way to do. You can also do this with a spiral notebook. If that's easier and more affordable for you, you can get a 2 spiral or 3 spiral notebook even, where you say positive affirmations or something like that. And then my not so happy moments or something like that. And then you can do positive moments, positive things that I want to talk about, whatever you want to title it. So you can also do that for something a little bit more affordable. But in this journal right here, I wrote everything down that was positive, everything down that I was looking forward, things for the future that I wanted to have or to accomplish. I would write all of that in this journal. And so I just really think that by doing that and keeping them separate, it just really helped me. Once I write out all of my negative things for the day, it's gone. I let it go. I get it out of my brain. It's there. And then I would then focus on writing something more positive to begin the day with. My affirmations, my gratitudes, whatever the case is in this journal. I also started doing something a little bit different now where I speak into the voice note of my phone. So just any voice note, any type of recorder or app or something like that where I can record voice notes. So it's almost like recording a podcast. I just never post it. I do like voice diaries. If it feels a little weird to you to be talking to yourself, you can maybe start off by saying, I'm just doing a voice diary today, and then start your conversation about whatever you want to talk about. And that has been a huge game changer too. I love doing my voice diaries. Every Sunday I'll sit down and do them in the morning. I just did one yesterday and it was so helpful because I can sit there and yes, talk to myself, I guess, but I'm talking and just freely talking about the things that I want to do, things that aren't working, things that I want to do for the future or whatever, and just getting that all out of my brain without having to physically write or type or anything like that has been such a game changer too, because I can just freely flow and then I can go back and listen to that. So that's another alternative if you maybe can't afford to get journals or you just simply don't enjoy writing or typing or anything like that. Voice notes, voice diaries, try that. I know for some people it might also be hard to find time for journaling. I know I used to find time in the morning. As soon as I wake up, before I look at my phone, I would journal. And then right before bed, as soon as I get into the bed, I will pick up my journal. But if that doesn't work for you as well, then I think, again, maybe trying a voice note or something like that can also be very helpful, because you could do it anytime. I do it mainly when I'm sitting on the couch and my boyfriend is at work or something like that. I'll find time then to just sit and do a quick voice note. You get to choose and how often you want to journal. There's no time limit on it. There's no certain dates that you have to do it, or even every day. You can do a weekly journal if you choose to do so. I found myself once journaling every Tuesday, but there's no limits on this. You don't have to pick a certain day to journal. You don't have to journal every single day if you don't want to journal. I think it's really good to just allow ourselves to do what feels natural, do what feels right, and to journal when it feels good for you. But forcing it, I don't really believe in that. And I also don't believe in, if you don't really have anything positive to write in your positivity journal, I don't believe in that, to be like, I have to write positive affirmations and stuff like that. I believe in getting out the emotion, sitting with that emotion, because you might need to do that. And also, I don't believe in also staying in the negative emotion or something that feels really heavy on you. If you want to feel more positive and you're like, I just really want to feel some relief from this, then allow yourself to do more positive affirmations or more thinking about the future. For example, I was switching over my branding and everything recently, and I was just feeling sad about that, because I'm like, I was just feeling like I was doing something wrong, which I know that I wasn't, but I was just feeling, why did you go down this path with your branding when you knew where you wanted to be with your branding? And I guess I was just feeling so down about that. But then I even asked ChatGPT, what should I do? And it gave me some good journaling prompts. And one in particular was write about what you're excited for, about the future of your new branding. And that really inspired me. And I was like, I don't have to stay in this negative emotion if I don't want to. I get to think more positively about it. And it truly just helped me to get out of that moment of feeling sorry for myself, because I'm like, I did all this branding, which I was so happy and proud of at first. But I also feel like I took my brand down this weird path that it shouldn't have went down. And now I'm starting to do the things that I actually want to do, talking about topics like this. And so that moment of reflection just really helped me to just feel better about where I'm at right now. And so I'm happy about that. I wanted to just read one or two entries from my journal to you, only because I just was looking back on some of these things, it made me cry. But I want to actually read one or two of my entries to you guys before it gets more darker in here. I used to love writing the date and the specific time so I can know when I look back on this what the date and time was. So it was 12/29/2020 at 12:53 p.m. And one of the entries that I wrote was, I am grateful that people think of me to do things. Even though I get tired, they pick me because they value my opinions and knowledge on the subject. That means I am smart, creative, and capable. I don't know. I was really struggling with feeling like people were just constantly asking me or calling me for things. And I had to sit and reflect and think about it. Well, yes, we don't want to be used or anything by people, but I also had to realize people do value the knowledge that I have, and I am smart when it comes to being tech savvy or computers and things like that. So I realized when people were calling me to ask me questions about that, it's because they needed help with it and they didn't understand it. And so I would get frustrated about it and feel like maybe people didn't really care about me. But I'm like, well, maybe a better way to reframe it is to think about maybe they do actually value what I have to say and what I think. So I had to look at it that way to reframe the situation versus always thinking so negatively about it. But still trying to keep my peace and then not let people take advantage of me. Of course not, but just a better way to reframe it, I would say. This is one that I believe where I was getting used to the idea of scripting out my reality, scripting out things that maybe didn't happen yet, but I was wanting them to. So this is one of them. So on 1/11/2021 at 11:30 a.m., I wrote, I chose calm over worry and faith over fear. Thank God I gave up the fear that I can't read my own writing. Thank God I gave up the fear that stopped me for so long. I stepped out on faith and went for my dreams. I started my YouTube channel and it went amazingly. I worried for no reason. People love my personality and how detailed and personable I am. They love my edit that I worried about for no reason. All I needed to do was be calm, and look at me now, recording great quality content and having the most fun with the most amazing support system around me. I am so grateful for walking in my purpose, living in the moment, not allowing fear to control me, and doing what I know I was called to do. So I absolutely love that. I think it's really cool to look back on these things and just reflect on how much I've grown. Again, I'm only 43 subscribers in with my YouTube channel, but I'm just so happy that I was writing very hard things in here about YouTube and how much I was struggling and moving the camera around and not making a video because the lighting wasn't working. And as you can see now, it's getting super dark. But I'm not really worried about that in this second. I'm just thinking about I'm here and I'm doing it. I'm doing what I love, and every day or everything won't be perfect. But I just think things like this, journaling, has really helped me to move forward, to start taking action, to stop worrying about perfectionism, to help me regulate my emotions, and to again start taking action towards my dreams. And it all started with journaling. So I really hope that this video helped or inspired somebody out there who wants to get into journaling. If you have any questions about journaling or scripting or anything related to that, or if you have any more content ideas that you want to see on mindset or people pleasing or anything personal development mindset related, leave them in the comment section below. I'm just so happy that I am getting into the topics that I love to talk about: mindset, personal development, and all the other topics. So if you want more of that, please don't forget to subscribe and stick around. Give this video a thumbs up if you'd enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you guys soon.